The Fed is about to make a major announcement for millions of Americans, and I have all the details for you here in this short video, as well as what we can expect in just a matter of days, as this is a very important announcement and it's going to impact all of us, our money, our benefits, our finances, and anything else pertaining to our money going forward. Pretty important stuff. Let's jump into the details. Now, I want to point something out super fast. For those of you that are currently on Medicare, please do yourself a huge favor. We only have a couple days until annual enrollment for Medicare completely ends on December 7th, okay? Now, if you're on Medicare right now, please do yourself a huge favor. You see that right there. It's a free phone number. You can call them to get free Medicare help. They have access to over 20,000 plans. They're going to look through all those plans to find you your best plan for you and your personal situation in your local area based on you, your personal needs, and your personal preferences. So if you've not gotten a free review yet and you're currently on Medicare, please do yourself a huge favor. Call them literally right now today. They are there. You will connect with a real human, not an AI bot, not some automated system, a real human who is located right here in the United States. In fact, in New York is where they are located. You will talk to them. They will look through their database of 20,000 plans and find you your best plan for your personal situation. Please take advantage of that, because once annual enrollment closes, we're all locked in, okay? Not a good situation. At least get a review and make sure that what you currently have is still good for you and that there's not better options out there, which honestly, there's probably better options out there. Just saying, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier, and then you can sleep easy at night knowing you are properly covered for the upcoming year. There you go. Totally free resource. Please take advantage of that. If you're currently on Medicare, you got to act like right now we've only got a couple days to go. All right, anyway. After you talk to them, by the way, drop a comment down below on any video. Use the word chapter within your comment. That's the keyword I search for, and I'd love to give you a shout out in a future video. All right, anyway, let's talk about the massive Fed meeting coming up here. The announcement out of the Fed, how this is going to impact all of us, our money, our benefits, our finances. What we need to know about this right now, the importance of this, as well as the projections and the estimations as far as what people are projecting to happen, and why this is such a big deal. All right, so on Wednesday, the Federal Reserve will be wrapping up their next FOMC meeting. This is the meeting that they have roughly every 6 weeks or so. The last one was back at the end of October. The one before that was in the middle of September. So every 6 weeks they come, and this will be the last one of the year. It's wrapping up on Wednesday, the 10th, okay? Why is it such a big deal? The projections right now is that they're going to come in and cut interest rates yet again. How much? Probably 25 basis points, which happens to be 0.25%, which honestly is not very much. But the more that they come in and keep cutting 0.25% every single time, 25 basis points, well, then obviously that adds up over time. But a one cut of 25 basis points is honestly not all that much in and of itself. But when we continue to get multiple of these coming in together, back to back to back to back, and more to come early next year, we anticipate that interest rates will likely come down. Now, why do we care about this? Well, if you're like most people out there, me included, floating balances on credit cards and you're sick and tired of paying 21.5% interest, which is, I'm pretty sure that's what mine is. I just looked not that long ago, a few weeks ago, I looked. It's at like 21%, 21.5%. It's nuts. It's a very high interest rate, right? So anyway, if you happen to be somebody floating balances on credit cards, or you have any outstanding loan balances on, say, variable rate loans or anything like that, adjustable rate loans, it's all pegged to this. So when the Federal Reserve lowers interest rates, the federal funds rate is basically the rate in which banks borrow overnight from each other, then it also translates into the amount of money that we are paying in interest on, variable rate, floating rate loans or balances like credit cards, things like that. So at the end of the day, it actually does impact our money, our benefits, and our finances in a pretty big way. Now, if you happen to be somebody that's living debt-free and you don't have anything to worry about like this, like outstanding debts owed, well then this is a really good thing. I mean, you don't really have much to worry about with this then. It probably won't have a whole lot of impact on you, but that's like a very small percentage of the population. I would say that there's very few people out there that are living a completely unencumbered life. In other words, no debts whatsoever, right? That's a very rare person these days who's not floating some kind of balance somewhere, somehow. if that makes sense, right? So this will actually be good overall. Now remember this much. The other side of the coin that a lot of people don't talk about that I want to point out as well is that if you happen to be one of the lucky people out there, again, very, very teeny tiny percentage of the population, if you happen to be a lucky person who happens to have any money in savings or any type of account that's interest bearing, remember this much as well. When they lower interest rates on savings accounts and these types of accounts also reduces. Okay, so maybe you're getting, say, like a 3% interest rate on a savings account, for example. That's still relatively high these days. But let's just say, for example, you're getting 3% interest on a savings account. If they lower the interest rate, the federal funds rate, by 25 basis points, then you're likely going to see your interest rate on your savings account also drop by a quarter point, okay? 25 basis points. And again, I'm not going to spend much time on this because I know that most people out there probably have no money set aside or saved, which is, again, I don't blame you for that. That's the vast majority of the population right now. But if that happens to be you, that if you're a lucky one that does, well then remember your interest rate will also drop. Why would they do such a thing? Why would they lower that as well? Remember, when they lower interest rates, the whole objective is to stimulate the economy. That's literally what lowering interest rates does. Because when they when they lower interest rates, what happens is that people borrow money to, number one, because interest rates are lower, it's easier to borrow more money because, the debt service is lower. Okay, so people borrow more money and then they spend the money, stimulates the economy. Not only that, when they lower the interest rate down and the less and less it gets, people are thinking, I was getting 4.5% interest a couple of years ago on my savings account. Now it's 2.5% or whatever it is. People are thinking, I'm kind of losing ground here. This doesn't make any sense. Let's use that money. Let's spend that money. Yep, and that's exactly what people do. Because it really makes no sense to hold money anymore when, a couple years ago it was at 4.5% or whatever interest on a savings account. And then when they lower that interest rate, it comes down and the people are like, forget this. I'm not letting money sit here at 2.5% or 2.25% or 2%, whatever it happens to be. And they pull that money out and say, let's buy something. Let's do something with it. Exactly. That's the point. That's exactly what they want us to do. And they do it through manipulating interest rates. By lowering them, it entices people to borrow money and to spend money, not only borrow and spend, but also spend money that they have saved to basically stimulate the economy. That's the point, okay? Now, as of right now, the consensus is still that they're going to lower by 25 basis points, 1/4%. However, there are some people that think that they're going to come in and cut by 50 basis points or 1/2%. I wouldn't really count on that, but you never know. If they do, that may be signaling to us that they are seeing a slower economy or more sluggish economy coming in, and as a result, they need to come in and stimulate even further by lowering interest rates even more, which also entices people to borrow and spend even more when they lower interest rates more, because it's now more enticing to get that money out of savings accounts and money basically borrowed to spend, because now it's even cheaper to borrow money. Is that going to make sense? It's all manipulation, okay? So for those of you thinking, oh, this seems really weird, why would they do such a thing? It's all about getting us to spend money. That's all it's about. It's all it ever is about. They want us to spend money to stimulate the economy for them. It's literally what it is, okay? You just got to look at the big picture. Why do they do the things that they do? It's to basically lead us to exactly where they want us. It's about what it happens to be, okay? And that's what it is. It's just, tinkering around with interest rates to basically get money to be spent and or saved, and that's what they do with interest rates, okay? Anyway, that announcement will be coming out on Wednesday, December 10th, okay? That comes out, the interest rate policy announcement, and then 30 minutes later after the announcement, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, he comes out in a press conference or a press release, whatever, and reporters ask him questions, and that's when we're going to see some other interesting data that will come out. Whatever he says will be very interesting and also taken into consideration. So the anticipation is interest rates will go down. This time we could, hold steady. He could pause, but the consensus is that they will likely cut again. So we'll see what happens here. I'll keep you posted. Anyway, Pretty important stuff that we're going through right now. As always, happy holidays. Can you believe it? I know, right? Happy holidays. Thanks for joining me. Really, really appreciate this. And I will certainly keep you posted. Otherwise, again, if you are one of the 70 million people currently on Medicare, and if you have not called yet, you're doing a massive disservice to yourself if you do not call and at least get a free review. It's not to buy something, it's to get a free review to make sure that you are properly covered. There's that phone number for you right there. Please take advantage of that. It is there for you. Please call them. Just have a conversation. You'll connect with a real human, not an AI bot, not an automated system, a real human you will connect with. They will talk to you through all of these different preferences that you have, whatever it is that you need. They're going to gather the data and they're going to look through their database to find you the best plan at the best price with the best coverages for you and your personal situation. We all need something different. So that's the point. They're going to look through you and what you personally need for your situation. Vitally important, okay? You've got a couple days here. Please take advantage of that. It's 100% free. Right there, you can see it. Free Medicare help. It's right there for you. Please take advantage of that. They're there to help you in any way that they possibly can. And that's there for you, okay? Anyway, utilize that free service. It's there. After you do, drop a comment down below if you'd like. Let me know how it goes. How much money did you save? What happened? And use the word chapter within your comment. I'll give you a shout out in a future video, and I'd love to hear how it goes. All right, anyway, please do your friends, family, social media a huge favor. Share that phone number with them as well, especially if you know that they are on Medicare. Please share that phone number with them, especially as we only have a few days to go here for annual enrollment. Please share that with them. So incredibly important this time that we're in right here, right now, okay? Anyway, I know that you're sick of hearing about it, but it's just like, it's so important. I cannot emphasize this enough. And yeah, let me know what else I can do for you. Otherwise, please subscribe if you're new here, 100% free. Big subscribe button down below. Please share the video, big share button down below. Please share that phone number with your friends, family members, neighbors, acquaintances, siblings, coworkers, parents, neighbors down the street, neighbors down the hall, your social media. Otherwise, check out the other 6,000 plus videos here on the channel. Down below in the description, I have hand-selected videos for you there. Down below at the top of the comment section, videos there. Enjoy your day. Until next time, I look forward to seeing you. And again, happy holidays.